Hello humans, back again. Okay, so here we are with our glass we recorded in the last session. Let's do some stuff with it. So I'm now going to grab one of these, a Simpler, drag it down here to kind of a new track which will be built like so, and then I'm going to just drag this audio and throw it into there. Okay, so that glass recording that I tweaked somewhat is now in this sampler. It's called a Simpler because it just handles one sample at a time. So now I'm going to highlight an area. This is, you can see above here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Okay, so I can just kind of click and drag. I can right click and insert a Midi clip, Shift Command M. There it is. And I am now pressing Shift and Tab to flick between our arrange window and the MIDI, a piece of empty MIDI I've just created. Yeah, so if I press B, highlights the little pencil tool up there. Look, so if I hang over that mouse, if you look bottom left here, whenever I hover over something, it tells you what it is. It tells you that B is draw mode. So by default, samples are, oops, undo. I'm going to turn B off, just grab the end of that. Okay, drag it out for these full 4 bars. So you probably know that by default C3 will play the sample at the root pitch. Okay, so you can see it now being played in the sampler. Look, there's a gap at the start. So I could kind of zoom in a bit and grab this marker and just shove it right up to the start point there. It's the first kind of, you know, can be really precise. First bit of tweaking I need to do in this sampler. Okay, so now every time I hit play, it's struck. Now here's a thought. If I just throw in an operator, which is basically a little FM synthesizer, if I copy this MIDI down to that channel, this operator is now playing C3. I need to make sure this really is playing at precisely C3. So if I now add in, I've got it in my favourites, an EQ, put that on the master channel like so. Okay, we can be precise and make sure that that really is playing C3. If you have a discerning ear, you can hear that it's not quite right. Okay, so look, here in this sampler I'm going to flip to controls and pitch, and I'm just going to tune it right there. So you can hear as I adjust that by sense. So listen to that, 10 cents by my own limits of my own hearing. Put it up to 20. So that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so I'm going to turn off that operator channel and just forget about that. We've basically pretty much tuned this to a nice C. So we're good to go. So we could start composing. I could, you know, whatever, draw in an octave. In fact, let's just sort of test the limits of this sampler. If we go right down to C1, that's kind of interesting. Right, listen to that now. How interesting. You can hear the limits of the sampler. So it's playing us this, you know, lower C, and the really high frequency chink of the teaspoon hitting the glass has become this kind of dull clank at these lower octaves here. So it sounds less good way down there. It's quite a high frequency sample anyway. Okay, so I'm going to drag that up to, you know, C3, which is actually C4 anyway, I believe. There's an octave, you know, here's a flat 7. So it's kind of interesting. Right, so here's a thought. Let's mess around with this sampler and tidy up this sample. So as it happens, I've got this bit of MIDI here, Bach's Prelude in C. Okay, I'm going to throw this in. No, I don't want to import the tempo and time signature stuff. Let's just listen to this now. So you can hear it clip, just slightly distorting, right? Turning it down a bit. We go inside this. I'm going to select all and go down, down, down. That's a bit better. So that's kind of beautiful-ish. Well, okay, it's not beautiful yet. Let's make it more beautiful. What I could do is play with the envelope and adjust the sample start time. Now, if I hold down Shift, yeah, I'm doing this really gradually. Yeah, I mean, I did it definitively with this flag at the start. But listen, if I just shunt it along slightly to here, it's a bit softer. Could move it maybe to here. What do we get? Okay, it's got this really beautiful dreamlike quality now to that starting point. So if I go to the Controls tab and click on Amplitude, here's the envelope for the sound. Listen. If you notice, every time the note is struck, there's a little click. So I'm going to adjust the attack and just slow that down slightly, maybe 5 milliseconds. There you go, you hear that? It's just a little bit softer now. So whilst we're here, we could mess around with the envelope some more, the sustain, listen. Just turn the loop off, let it run, let it run. Now because it's got built into it a kind of natural reverb because it's got this huge long tail. Yeah, as you just saw, what I could do is I selected all the MIDI and just shortened it. Okay, undo that. Because you can hear all the notes kind of slowly merge into themselves. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but quite nice. Obviously I could mess around with the release time. So a few more things we could do. Let's go into the audio effects and add in, I don't know, a delay. So I'm just see how I just drag this over to the start. Put it on ping pong. Turn the sync off. You can hear that it's given it a very strange kind of stereo quality. Turn it off. Yeah, you know, what else could we do? So many things we could do. Let's just add in this nice saturator plugin after that delay. Just give it a bit of drive. Okay, really all that's going to do is just make it louder. But if I turn it down, again, that's kind of not that pleasant. The wave shaper's a pretty angry thing. Let's just mix the ratio of wet to dry. It's kind of becoming more like a kettle drum. It's interesting. Turn that off. Turn that off. Yeah, so really nice. So again, this is just the beginning really. All we've done is record a glass, tune that bit of audio somewhat, take out any troublesome frequencies. We've built ourselves a sampler. Here it is. We've thrown that in. Yeah, we tuned it so it was at concert pitch. We've tweaked the envelope, and it sounds beautiful in some sense, right? You know, we didn't try reverb. Go to my favourites. Let's get the Valhalla Room on here. So remember, in a sense, it kind of has a built-in reverb anyway. Okay, so we're just messing around with a few plugins here. Turn that off. Back to analog clip. Yeah, nice. Okay, great. So that is just simple stuff with a sampler, which is the kind of thing, you know, we want to be exploring for this module. In some sense, you know, we could argue the sound I've made here is unique to my kitchen. I found that glass, I recorded it, I threw it in a sampler. It's my sound, you know. It doesn't sound that unique, but hey. Okay, so that'll do for now, and stay tuned for part 3 or whatever on, where we're going to start going crazy, using some arpeggiators and just really exploring Ableton more and more. Okay.